Meeting at 7:02 PM. Can I roll call, please?
Jim Drawing present.
James Gates.
Kevin Smith.
Pat Summerall.
Everyone join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Let our thoughts go out to these people at Kansas City having a parade and getting shot.
This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else reporting? Chairman's additions and resolutions. Just want to note that there is a special town meeting Tuesday, March 19th, 2024 at 7 PM. Chair report, anything I have will be covered in the agents and admin report. Review and approve meeting minutes from 1:10 and 1:31:24. Has everyone had a chance to review it?
I'm all set, circled and initialed, okay with me.
So I need a motion in a second.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from, what were we,
131.
1:31 and
1:10.
1:10.
I'll second that.
Second, roll call vote, please.
James Drawing, approve.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Summerall, yes.
Seven, agents report.
So from January 24th to February 14th, one building permit sign off, 6 Warner Road. Other pending building permit reviews for 2 Capricorn Lane, 65 Main Street, which we will be reviewing tonight, and 2 Hillside Drive. Referrals completed for ZBA at 335 Main Street, 99 Clement, and 23 Shirley Road, accessory apartment special permits. Completed approvals since the last meeting, COCs issued for 80 Main Street, 106 Haynes Road, and 50 Sauna Row Road, all issued on February 1st, 2024. Applications for NOI at 65 Main Street, and miscellaneous, we have our 8th fine was issued to 88 Meadow for not filing NOI for an NOI at work within a buffer. Total outstanding fees are $2,700 with fines doubling per week on February 14th, which is 2 months after the NOI filing deadline. Moving on to the next violation, fees total. So fees have been paid in full by the property owner at 97 Main Street. So 97 Main Street is, has paid all of the fines that were issued there as of February 5th, 2024. And they have also provided a 20-day waiver by the property owner for the RDA that was submitted back on 1/17/2024. Pre-install inspection was conducted at 56 Bayberry Hill, and a site visit was also conducted this past Monday to February 12th for wetlands at 6 Warner Road, and no wetlands were found within 100 feet of the proposed work site.
56 Bayberry, was there a DEP permit number sign?
Say that again?
56 Bayberry
Yeah.
Hill, was there a DEP permit number sign displayed?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not sure.
Is that Kings?
No, it's just
66
66 is,
Kings,
right.
56.
It is the one that
House.
Matt Brady grew up in that house, right? Next
Yes,
to
yes.
next to the
Bayberry Hill.
Like,
Not
Chris is doing the site work.
Okay. We haven't done a sidewalk on that one, have we?
Yeah, we did everything for
It's
that.
done, the septic was just put in this week, I believe.
I must have missed that.
Abstain.
But
I remember
all
doing,
the siltation barriers are up. They all look good. I drove by and I didn't see a sign.
so it's a straightforward septic installation?
Well, the house is gonna get torn down and replaced.
For the record, I won't comment on that. My son was the one that did the septic system there. I guess gonna do the site, so
You're active on the job?
no,
You were?
abstaining.
He's just not
No, I don't.
commenting.
No, I don't comment.
I just didn't see a sign. So I can ask about it. or-
And I apologize because I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with it because I did not recall going on the sidewalk. So, I
I didn't remember where you were.
There is an OOC for
No, there is.
for that address. There's a permit for that address to do the work, yeah.
okay.
And then 88 Meadow Road was a certified letter sent to him to notify him that fines are doubling.
Mm-hmm.
And he signed for it.
Yeah, he called me today. He's gonna be coming in tomorrow to bring in his NOI.
Great.
No comment. You don't know what our responsibilities were on that. I think it was a matter of
He's moving and he's trying to get it taken
communication,
care of
and now
tomorrow.
he's been communicated to.
Several times, so.
And we did take the time, actually, I think that's, I took a ride up, I looked, it stabilized, right side went up.
And I don't know if you want Jessica to look at it when the work was being done. There wasn't any glaring issues. It's just we gave them a little rope and.
A little more.
Yeah, but
Did a fine job.
And he's notified, and he's moving forward.
it's just taken 2 months and, you know, I don't think that, at least personally, I don't plan on being in favor of anything until the fines are paid. There's ample opportunity to file what we require.
Unfortunately, I think we're starting to see ourselves having to go that route to get their attention, to get the proper responses. And even at that point, we're still not getting a response from one particular. So moving on with it, let it be known that we request information and things to be done. Fines will accrue, and we will have to go that route. And I'm okay with that.
So, 7:10, move on. Are you all set, Autumn, with your report? Anyone else have any questions or comments or concerns?
All good.
Do we still have time, actually?
No,
Okay, all right, no worries.
what do you need to add?
I can do the annual report for the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council towards the end. Or
Is
we
it
have
on here? Yeah, it's 4.1, so,
Okay, all right, we'll wait.
Thank you.
or no, it's 3.1.
3.1.
So
Is that,
I put it in both sections because I have the annual report document to share, but I also want to share a short presentation.
Okay.
So,
are we gonna tie, no, we can't tie that into the trestle and the planting over there, doesn't that fall into the wild and scenic?
No, this is just an annual report of the work that's been done, right?
Not really related.
So we're gonna move to 2.1, 7-11, Old Meeting House Park Trail Improvement Discussion with Ron Sears, who has joined us and discussing.
Alright, so this is, I guess, just, it's not a great detailed map, but, just kind of the area that I'm thinking about working with. The Dalton Meeting House, just so you guys know, it's just kind of the perimeter that I had. So what I was looking to do was, I was hoping to get approval to add to our community.
Come right up to the table so
It's
the.
okay. So, being a 39-year resident in town, I've found myself out in the woods quite often, and I realized that our town has amazing properties. And I guess what I want to do is I want to focus on adding to our community with potentially building some mountain bike specific trails geared towards maybe youth, beginners, intermediate alike, and in hopes of kind of promoting our town as like a town that is good for outdoor recreation. With the new rail trail being put in, I feel like we have some great properties that we could connect. And I know that we spend a lot of money on funding for different signs and stuff pointing to these different parcels. And what I would like to do is maybe start with this and see where it goes and tap into maybe a untapped community of people that enjoy outdoor recreation and make our town better.
There is a trail system out there now.
There is a small trail system out there now, yes, mostly cart roads, and
The old logging roads.
yeah,
and
not,
stuff.
I mean, it's
5 or
maintained.
6 miles of them, ain't there?
There's quite a bit. It's not very maintained. I mean, I'm out there quite a bit with a chainsaw, whatnot. So I guess with that being said, what I would like to do is, maybe, I don't know if Townsend has a Trails Coalition, which I don't think we do, but it's something I'd like to work towards and maybe getting more involved. I kind of missed my boat during the rail trail because I decided to have kids. So during the start of that, but this is something that I think is important to our town. It's kind of like a skate park without the $100,000 bill.
Yeah,
And I just feel like,
nice piece of property.
I feel like the kids nowadays could use something like this. And I feel like since we have the land and it's not being used for anything, maybe we could use it for this purpose.
We used to have a trails committee here in town.
We did at one point.
Yep.
But I don't believe there's anything established now. Joe?
Is a lot of that under the jurisdiction of North County Land Trust now?
That's the other side of the park. So the park kind of like, I think Meeting House Hill Road the old Meeting House Hill Road, the cart path divides the Howard M. Stein Park, which goes down towards the highway garage, which has an existing trail that's not on the map there that could be rerouted a little bit to make it better utilized. So the right side is Howard M. Stein and the left side is Meeting House Park that goes down beyond and then over a creek and then kind of up towards the top of Highland Street.
Is that under somebody else's jurisdiction up top?
That's the Northland County Land
Oh,
Trust.
okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
which was adopted via, I think, through Townsend.
Yeah.
So like you said, that the Howard M. Stein, like you go to the right, it goes down towards the highway. That's Howard M. Stein, and then the left side is Meeting House
Behind
Park.
Lord Noel.
Yeah,
Lord Noel's
that's-
old building down
So
towards
the
the
town is
cemetery.
doing some work right now down there, which I believe it's called the Ash Walk. They're doing behind the Lord and Oil building, and you can go
What's
right.
up the trail that went, the old trail, the old road, the old snowmobile trail that went across where the highway
Yes.
department
So
is?
so what's pretty amazing, you can connect, you can go from Hafner's up, you can go to the top of Meeting House, down to Lorden, over to the rail bed, you can get to the top of Highland Street. It's a matter of, I guess, getting these properties a little more known and maybe, getting people out there using them and going from there.
No, it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea.
I just think that, back in the day, a bicycle was a path to freedom, and you don't see a lot of kids on them nowadays, and I'm hoping that I could maybe change that in town.
So I guess our next course of action or actual comments, questions from other commissioners. Jimmy, Pat?
I mean, to make a good comment on it, I gotta get out there and look at I remember all the trails we used to run around on them when we could use dirt bikes in the area.
Snowmobile, yeah.
And snowmobiles, a lot of it's changed because people have shut the trail areas off. They don't want that behind them. How good of an overview do you have of all these trails? Can you get a GIS, demonstrate to us how you're connecting them all, where they all are, so we can understand better the networking of
Yeah,
it.
I could. I mean, like I said, on Tuesday, I left my house on Coppersmith Way and I went, I crossed 119, I'm through through the park, Meeting House Park, crossed 119 to the rail bed,
Mhm.
through the center of town, next to Evans, all the way into the state forest, all the way up to the state forest, and it ended up at Old Turnpike Road. And
you.
huh?
It was you.
That was me. That was me.
On your,
On my mountain bike.
on your,
On my mountain bike. So what I would like to do is I would like to promote the outdoors more in towns, and I feel that
Jimmy, remember the trail system back when we were kids that went from the quarry, the
All
old
the way
railroad
from where
bed,
Kings
up over
were.
by Charlie Rossback's, crossed the other side of Charlie's field, down along beside his house, crossed Barker Hill, went down and ended up in Pheasant Hill Road,
yeah.
which would take you down towards San Bagulio's when we were kids.
In the back,
You could cut
where
across
the old
to
chicken
Sam's.
barns were.
Yeah, you could, Matson's through that area.
Kenny's.
That's the area he's referring to.
yeah.
that
So
you
it's
wanna-
still doable.
He
It
was
just
up
it's
by a cross when he blew a
Correct,
tire, I
yeah.
guess.
Correct.
And got messed
so it
up.
just I just think there's a way that there's a community to tap into it. I mean, Paul's perfect. Paul and Joan are perfect examples of it. I mean, you see this guy riding his bike from one end of town to the other.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's So I just look at it as, ball fields are prevalent everywhere, right? I just think there's some untapped network of people that might be interested in doing this and maybe trying to garner some support in the community and see where it goes. And this is just my little network where I'd like to, this is just my little area where I thought this would be a good little spot to start and see kind of like where it goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere, it's just woods, it grows back in.
So say, does it need a lot of clearing then?
No, so this parcel was cleared about 10 years ago. So it's pretty open. There's really nothing that needs to be cut. It's
Well, it was-
basically just manipulating dirt.
It was cleared for a trail system then. wasn't
Right,
it?
yeah, I think they use all the forestry roads.
Yeah, somebody put the kibosh to it. Or tried to.
I don't know, we'd have to look back.
Yeah, I think it was probably about maybe 10, I'll say.
What do you mean?
There may have been a former member
Correct.
that was very, yes.
Yeah,
I was not on the commission then. I was in here on a different matter.
I
one
was.
evening. You were. I was in here on a different matter and it came up. That's what
Correct.
I remember vividly.
right, yep.
Why somebody would try to punish somebody for using the property,
And
make it miserable for somebody to use that's using the property.
once again, we bring back memories.
And to be honest with you, I'm not sure who you're referring to, but there's a reason why I'm coming here now and not 10
Doesn't
years
matter,
ago.
it's old. Years
So,
years gone by, my friend.
yeah.
So, because it's Old Meeting House Park is Conservation
Yeah.
Commission land, we have to go through the process and.
Dotting and crossing.
Yeah,
Yeah, just, it's a parcel that we have and it's not being, like, there's signs at the bottom of Meeting House Park, but I've heard from multiple people. I looked back at the 2013 study that we had for the rec study. I mean, the number one thing that people wanted was more bike trails.
Mhm.
And,
It has been something that is,
It's,
yeah, and
I think it's a great- I
I
think
have an
it's a great
11-year-old
idea.
son. When I say to my son, hey, let's go ride the trails, he's like, yeah, okay, it's, but if we can make it like, a little more fun, a little more like, my idea for this small parcel, like I said, the red is the perimeter that I walked that I
what is
think.
that, about 25 acres, 20?
It's not a lot. It's a nice small area. That's why I was thinking what I would like to do is if you think of the red as an outside perimeter, say you had a son and he wanted to ride his bike, you wanted to walk the dog, you could walk your dog on the perimeter trail while he's maybe descending a trail that brings you down to the common perimeter trail and he's never within earshot of you yelling for him. You're never 10 minutes away from getting access to a road so it's easy access. It's, again, it's another parcel that we could connect and
Was that a 150 acre parcel John Lang gave to the town? This is part of it.
just a teeny bit under.
Just under
just
150.
How are you
Okay.
proposing to build the trails?
So, I mean, I guess that would be all dependent on what is allowed. So volunteer, so this is also, I want it to be zero cost to the town. I mean, because I know that's a big thing. So I think
So
there's
more
a big volunteer network that I could tap into. I actually had tell 4 people tonight that we don't need you at the meeting. When we need you later on, come along. But there's a network of people that I have that are willing and ready. if it's approved. So I guess it all depends on the Conservation Commission. Do you want it to be hand-built? Can a small piece of machinery be put in there? So I guess it all depends. Well, after maybe a site walk and you can see the land and see what it entails.
Well, the issue would be wetlands crossings and such.
So there's-
A couple, right?
So there's actually, the way that I laid it out here was,
Gone and looked and
I've been out there, yeah, I'm out
figured
there
out
almost every day.
how to do
Um,
it without.
Yeah, so I basically,
Anything to
this layout right here is so that we're not interrupting any water whatsoever.
So it's like our jurisdiction.
This is a
just our
GPS
land,
track of me,
but
this is a GPS track of me walking in the woods and thinking that this is really good perimeter.
So you walked up
identifying-
from GIS.
I'm out there every day,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
When
Let's
he says he
file-
knows all the trails in town.
You and I spoke about him last week.
Yeah,
Was
but we
it-
also have Joan and Paul here
Yeah.
that are avid mountain bikers.
Paul and I, we go
Yeah.
way back. I mean, so I feel like, you know, for a town, we have all this land, like, I mean, the state obviously governs a big part of our land, which is very hard for us to do a lot of things with.
Wow,
So
But the
what I would
state-
like to do is start on a town level and see if we can maybe expand and maybe, you know, I mean, if you look up, I'm a mountain biker, if you look at mountain biking and what it's done for a lot of communities, it's changed a lot of communities. And I'm not saying I want to change a community, but I feel like it could definitely help our community.
Well, isn't the state, Lonnie, doing a lot of, they've been doing a lot of trail maintenance up off the Pheasant Hillside, up the stuff that abuts us up at the quarry.
They
I know
did
they've
some,
been doing some stuff
they
up
did some
there.
stuff up there, the washer. I met with Matt Amadon, maybe 2 weeks ago. I went in and,
what is
Just
the
chatted
state
with
doing
him.
for work up on the trails?
They've been doing some,
Fire
they've been cleaning
Let's
up for fire
define what you're
protection.
saying for
Yeah.
trails and such. It's a big difference. When they do something for a fire road, they're not offering anyone to go on them. That,
Well-
that isn't open,
The-
walking, hunting, et cetera, but they're not opening a door for something like
Well,
this.
they're not opening a door for
But-
snowmobiles or motorcycles or
I
four
thought-
wheelers,
yeah, I
but you
thought the
can't
fire
stop you
roads were
from.
like multi-use for mountain bikers.
They are for mountain
Are they-
bikes, actually.
It's back and forth.
Hikers.
You gotta look it up and figure it
Okay,
out.
Yeah,
it's, you know, I mean, it's just, the state is, I mean, you know, it's a top-heavy organization. It's hard to get, you know, there's a lot of red tape to get through to get things done. And I've always thought, like, I should, you know, I've met with Matt Amadon multiple times, had multiple
Nice
conversations
guy.
with him, really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's got, you know, a lot of work that he's, you know, that
He's
he's
trying to wrap
encompasses
his
his
head around,
area,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, now was Matt Amadon work out of
He's the
Pearl
head
Hill?
ranger for
Yeah.
Pearl Hill,
in
yeah.
Pearl Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
just
the
wanna
one, he's
make
the one
sure
that
I'm
we
familiar
deal with.
with them.
Yeah.
He's
So my, you
he's
know,
the
I
one
guess
that
my
we
thought.
deal with on our lands on our family lands that butt the state. That abut state
Mhm.
land.
Mhm.
We're probably pretty vast
So-
about
So I
it.
guess
We
my
need
thought was
to-
just maybe start on a town level and see what kind of interest we can garner. And, you know, like I said, I would like to start groups of, my dream is to get groups of kids out on bikes riding and trying to spread the love that I've always enjoyed biking.
I never
growing up in town.
realized there was that much.
It's
There's
an
that
abundance.
much out there. I couldn't believe it. We were up doing some trail, road maintenance, trail maintenance
really
up the
amazing.
quarry. And I couldn't believe the number of mountain bikes that were riding
You can
up through
go,
there while those
Matt
weekends
told
when we're
me
up
that-
there working.
because since COVID, they haven't been able to charge
Look-
at.
Yeah, I
Pearl
know.
Hill.
You're looking at, you want.
Sorry, they haven't been able to charge, he said they've lost tens of thousands of
But
dollars.
this other guy isn't even
Oh,
here.
imagine.
So,
I'll throw
I'll shut
my
up.
2 cents into it, and I get where he's coming from and everybody on that. I think it would be a real good thing. Sounds like we have the enthusiasm, sounds like he's got the help and the kids that are willing to do it. We're not looking at a really big area. This is a baby step.
There's no impact. It looks like no impact.
Even if it was whatever they're doing with crossing with a mountain bike. It's not machinery, minimal impact. Let's let them run with it. Let's do that as a proto to see how
Good
well,
start.
how successful. Just
Good
take a
start.
baby step.
Yeah.
He has my full blessing and help that I have available, whatever can be done. Why
And that's a
not?
big piece. That, like I say, that's a small section of a
Yes,
big,
a small-
of a big parcel.
Correct. I mean, when we were kids, we could go from my house to Pepperell on our dirt bikes. There's a lot of beautiful area.
We need
That's
things for the
changed.
kids. We
that's
really
what, that-
do.
you honestly, like, it sounds like it's for me. I mean, I think of just a kid on a bicycle might, you know, change their kids that don't have access to it. I mean, I have, you know, like I said, hopes that this becomes something bigger, by starting with this and seeing where it goes. So,
Well, I tend to agree with you. I hope it does.
Is that how you want it? Sound good to you?
I'm on board with it because I got it firsthand up to our quarry up there in the last few years. We've been up there doing some road improvements, site improvements up there for fire roads.
Yeah, I know.
Mountain bikes up there almost every time we're up there.
And like when we were
He's
kids,
one of them.
we were out there all the time,
Oh, yeah.
all the time, from the top to the bottom.
Look at the ones you see on the rail trail, right, the rail trail.
Well, that's what I feel like we need to promote the connectedness of the lands that we have. We have a bunch of parcels that we connect. You know, I sent Autumn a GPS link from my house, Adams Park, Howard Park, around the middle school. So, I mean, think about, you know, a kid
There's
hopping on
tons
his
of
bike,
trails, there's
riding
tons
his
of
bike.
nice trails in town.
So,
I've walked a lot of them.
Pat, do you have anything else you'd?
No, I mean, I think it's a great idea because I have kids behind my house that, you know, they're looking for places to go and ride. You know, they don't want to be on the street.
That's a piece of
And,
property right out
you
there
know,
too. That'd be a
they're
nice
so
trail
afraid to
system.
go on other
It's another
properties.
place to do it, and it showcases what
Yeah.
can be done, especially
If
on
done
the
right.
rail trail. So I
Moving forward.
I feel that we could make a vote for,
But what would you like for a motion on
pending,
it? Verbalize it, and let's go.
okay, yeah. So I make motion to approve, to allow Ron Steers and, any volunteers that he organizes, to make, trail improvements to Old Meeting House Park pending, any legal document requirements.
And liability releases and such.
And it would be good for us to get an overview, a GIS of
And-
just, so that we can see, we know exactly what area he's doing and go.
And sidewalk.
So approved.
Stroll. Nice little stroll out there.
Yep.
So, I
I'm
make
happy to show you.
the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Jim Brian Fair, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jones, yes.
So Autumn will reach out to you and schedule a site walk.
Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate
You
it.
know, and then we can go from there.
Thank you.
You can
Thank you, Ron. Nice seeing you.
get
Yeah,
whatever
actually,
we
it sounds
need.
like it's a thank you for bringing it forward and getting some
Yeah,
stuff
I'd
like
like to
that done.
continue moving forward. Yeah, more of it. And hopefully we can-
Again, it's a showcase thing to the town to demonstrate that people
Cool.
want this stuff and they're willing
They
to put
do.
in the
They do.
sweat
There's
equity.
a lot of, they do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Ronnie,
you.
thank you for joining us tonight.
I'm just sticking around for us.
Yeah. So, 7:30, we're gonna move to 2.2, RDA, TWB 2024-164, Alfred Prado, 97 Main Street. Project status, the removal and replacement of a parking area with new asphalt, removal of overgrown vegetation and invasive species approximately 20 feet from the building, around the sides and rear of the building, and demolition of an existing 4x12 dilapidated structure that is off of the main structure. Work is within 100 feet of a perennial stream. So we can discuss it. The applicant isn't, but,
Was he asked to come to the meeting? Okay. And it was,
because we all, we,
so it was supposed to be at 7:10, so he's already in, no, 7:25.
7:25.
I'm sorry, I was looking at 2.0.
Get down there and take a look at it.
Pretty straightforward stuff, Kevin.
Yeah, the
No
dilapidated,
surprises.
it's a little lean-to in the back. It's
Behind behind the building.
Yeah, and it's fallen.
Just basic cleanup.
Yep, invasive species.
No foundations being dug out, no electrical, basic
There's
cleaning up.
actually an old oil tank too that was gonna be removed.
But he said that's gonna be taken out and scrapped out.
And all the invasives would be removed by hand.
30 feet out.
More than 35 feet.
Is that what you because I remember you measured from the corner out, it was basically what, 30, 35 feet out?
It was more than
Just to the
35
water.
feet
Okay,
from where he was gonna be doing the hand removal.
Pretty much straightforward, common sense moves.
Yeah.
Do we need him here to finish it up?
Be good to hear, the pavement part. That was done without any formal permitting.
So he put an impervious binder on the top of it, a
Honestly
little bit
realized-
further.
honestly Realized that he was doing anything wrong.
He just went a little outside of the drawing area.
Did he go outside the existing paved area?
Minimal,
Mhm.
minimal.
He did.
And guess what? He paid the fine. If we need,
It's a
I'll
valid
motion.
point.
Mhm.
I'll motion to table this till when he comes in, then whenever
For next
he
meeting.
comes to the meeting at this point in time or calls, we'll pick back up on it and finish it. But I don't think there's anything there.
He's paid the fines,
Yep,
Autumn.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let it go, move on.
The
Over.
waddle's up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let him move forward to get that structure out of there, the oil tank out of there,
I
get
don't
it
think we need
cleaned
to
up.
drag this out.
No, let's get it moved, let's get it done.
let's bless it. and
Move
go
it, yeah, be
forward.
done with it.
I asked if you needed him here to complete it. If it's in our eyes, he is not needed here to be completed, let's move forward.
Get it done.
What bearing would he have on it? He's not objecting to anything that we're approving. He's here to say, thank
He
you.
messed up,
I
he realized
appreciate
he
it."
messed up,
no,
he paid the
he
fine,
didn't
he's,
have any questions
Yeah.
to why he was fined, so.
So he would only be here to say, I appreciate the efforts of the
Yeah.
commission. Thank you for your time. Straightforward. We're
Let's
not
get it-
deviating
let's get it-
anything.
let's get it done, Jim. Move it. Right off the table, we have plenty of things to deal with.
I'm good with that. I don't see any
Yeah.
benefit of having them discuss stuff that,
I don't see us
Right.
getting into any problem without his presence here for the approval.
And one requested he immediately put up the straw wattles.
They're
He
up,
did though, didn't he?
correct?
Yeah, he did.
They're
That's
all
what
up.
That's what I say, he probably didn't realize he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It was brought to his attention, he did it immediately. I'll make a motion to approve that.
so you can just, yeah, make the motion and someone can second it.
I'll make a motion to approve the TWB number 2024-164 for Alfred DePrado at 97 Main Street, Townsend Harbor.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
James Perrin, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Gemini, yes.
Just put a note in, client not available, and we completed it. Just so it's noted that,
So in the minutes, that the applicant was,
Not
not present.
Okay.
The fine was discussed, the project was discussed.
fines have been paid, waddles are in.
Yeah, so we need to redo.
Probably gonna make a motion for negative determination.
-3.
All right,
Negative, which is,
It's on. Mm-mm.
so we're signing this
So-
off tonight too.
now let me read it again.
Yeah.
I
Let
know.
me read it again.
I didn't know this was a
I'll make
complete
a
sign
motion
off.
to issue a DA with a negative determination with
Great.
special conditions of installing silt fence which is installed, erosion control sediment control around the work limits for the work being done at
Well, so he has
97 Main
waddle
Street
down, he does not have silt fence.
Yeah.
under Towns of Wetlands bylaw number 2024-164. Is that better?
Yes, we're gonna rescind the previous
Okay,
motion.
I'll make a
We have
motion
a
to
second.
rescind the previous
I'll
motion.
second that.
So you need a motion to rescind the original one that we said.
And please clarify what number.
And for
Determination.
silt fence to be put in.
Well, we have 5 conversations going
All
on
right,
now.
hold on.
If it's
I'm
requiring
gonna make a
silt
motion
fence,
to rescind the,
original,
yeah, the TWB number 2024-164 that I originally,
Okay, I'm going
that I
to second,
originally
I'm going to
stated.
second that. Jimmy, roll call vote.
yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
So we're gonna try this again. Make sure you say -3.
Negative.
All right, we're gonna make a motion to approve the
We'll get
IDA.
it someday.
97 Main Street, issue a negative determination, -3 determination with a special condition of installing erosion control and within the work limits
So,
for the work, and silt fence within the work limits of work to be done at 97 Main Street under the Towns and Wetlands bylaw 2024-164. That's what I had there.
for the second,
Second,
roll call vote, please.
in favor, James Dorian.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
Since we haven't been here.
Forwards. Right.
Okay, so we are gonna sign that off right now, Jimmy?
What?
We're signing that off now?
Do we have that?
We don't have the DA written up yet.
Get it written up. Get her done.
Okay, so we'll get called in to sign that later this week at our own leisure to get that finished, because it's kind of hanging.
Sure.
Outstanding.
Okay. What on earth do we have going on here?
What are we
We just
at?
say,
We
oh,
at
5 minutes.
7:40? Look at that, 7:39, 7:38. We got time to squeeze one of these bad boys in the back.
Does everybody have a copy of the RDA on that one, 42 and 22?
If I can squeeze any of that into it.
Not in 2 minutes.
We really don't. Legal notice for the first one, but. fine.
What's that? We're all gonna take more than a couple minutes.
Not really.
Close enough. This one's 7:39. We're gonna move on to 2.3.
That says 40.
RDA Towns and Wetlands bylaw number 2024-165, Natural River Watershed Association. Jessica Powell will be representing. Legal notice. Pursuant to the Massachusetts or the WPA, and the Towns and Wetlands bylaw, the Towns Conservation Commission will hold a work session on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, during their 7:40 PM meeting. What's a 7:40 appointment time? The work session will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a request for determination of applicability filed with the Conservation Commission by Natural River Watershed Association. Property is located at 42 and 22 West Meadow Road, Assessors Map 4, Parcel 16, and Assessors Map 4, Parcel 15. Proposed project is to plant 325 native bare root tree and shrub seedlings along Walk Brook, which runs through 2 abutting properties located at 42 West Meadow and 22 West Meadow Road. All work will take place within 200 feet of Walk Brook. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of this application are available to review at Town Hall during normal business hours.
Jessica should be coming on too.
Yep, she's on.
She's on the.
Yep, good evening, hello.
Yes.
Hi, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
There's also a request for waiver from the 45-foot vegetated buffer zone that is associated with this project. And then there will also be a separate RDA.
We're gonna have to put in a an RDA for the removal of the invasives and the, deceased trees on the edge, but not to go into the water bowl area.
This RDA is to discuss the planting of
Correct.
native
The planting
species.
schedule.
Jessica Powell is here representing Natural River Watershed. Welcome.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for having me. I just want to give a very brief background about the project. I want to thank you. We did do a site walk on Monday of this week. Thank you for that opportunity for those of you who may not have been there. This is a project to restore riparian areas, vegetated buffers within 200 feet of rivers and streams throughout the watershed, actually. And we're doing it in partnership with the Merrimack River Watershed Council, and it is supported by funding through the USDA Forest Service. So basically, we have I worked with the landowners in this particular project and identified it as a very good site for restoration, in that there's a lot of invasives within that buffer, and it's sort of sparsely vegetated with native plants. So as Mr. DeRoyan indicated, there will be clear of the invasives before we would come along, and then we would be hand planting about 325 bare root individuals of native trees and shrubs. In order to do that, we use a dibble bar, which is like a very long, narrow spade, and it only makes an opening in the soil that's about 2 by 2, and it goes down about 1.5 feet. And you can just take this bare root seedling and slip it right into the hole, tuck the soil back around the stem, and there's very minimal disturbance with the whole affair. If we were to have more than a couple people out on the site, we might also use traditional trowels or spades to do that work. But again, there's no holes being dug or anything like that. So there is very minimal disturbance. Yes, we are asking for a waiver to work within 35 feet of Lock Brook. But we believe that with the outcome of the project will produce a more structurally diverse buffer that's filled with native plants as opposed to the invasive plants, and that will be better overall for Lock Brook in the end in terms of water quality, wildlife habitat, and the ability of the surrounding landscape to help control and manage floodwaters. I'm happy to take any
Also,
questions beyond that.
keep it in plume. It's going to be able to give us the ability to curb and keep back the invasives from returning, which is the most important factor in this, really.
Mm-hmm. Right, working with the landowner on that particular aspect is very important at this site, because there are a number of invasives everywhere. So we're really grateful that he's willing to work with us on that particular aspect of the project.
Does anyone have questions or concerns
Not a
or
one,
what?
not a one. I think it's a great.
Now we're all familiar with
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a great idea.
it's gonna
I
go
think it's
all the
great
way
what-
back up into where it curves.
Jessica is proposing. I think it's great.
Say that again, Jimmy.
I don't know, everybody else chime in. Kevin, you didn't make it to the sidewalk, but there was a couple other little
I know the property. well.
ridiculous, I know.
And,
It's all a matter of clearing out these invasives in this area on the Willard Brook.
This is a great
That's a
start.
different-
We'll
we're gonna
come into it
discuss that
sometime.
This is a great start.
meeting, but to get the natives planted and
Yeah,
Let's get this
in
approval
that
done.
quantity is,
Now, with the next
Great.
RDA, I'll fill that out. It'll pertain to both 42 and 22, but basically for the ability to remove the invasives and the dead trees from the waterway. And that'll be at the next meeting,
yeah, it was
separate RDA for
the
that.
keeper of the
If-
agenda.
Yeah, if the application is submitted in time for me to get the legal ad posted, then we would be able to.
So I should hustle in probably Monday of next week, get that RDA completed. We can move on from there. Come springtime, we'll get those areas prepped and we're good to go.
So if there's no objections or anything,
I think we're good.
I'll
Wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'm not very good at that tonight.
It's all. So we need to make a motion to, motion to issue an RDA, with a -3 determination
Nick,
for the work to be done at 42 and 22 West Meadow Road under Town's Wetland Bylaws 2024-165.
I'll make a motion.
Who second?
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, Jimmy?
James, yes.
There's two James. No, I know, but you said James, yes.
James Dorian, yes.
James Gates, yes.
I'm sorry.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Generally, yes.
So we also, I make motion that we approve the waiver, for the 35-foot, for work to be completed within the 35-foot vegetated buffer on this project. We have a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
James Dorian, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin
Yes.
Smith, yes.
And Pat Generally, yes.
Okay, so the next steps will be for me to submit the other RDA for the removal of the invasives. And, wait for spring to come and start poking holes and putting trees in. Jessica, thank you very much for your time.
She has one more after that.
Yeah, thank you for this, though. Appreciate it. Yep.
She's not done, let's keep her on rolling. We can't really, can we? Can we?
Oh, we're going to Adams Dam right now?
I know.
Yeah, but it's not with her. Just gonna hold her up, see if you can hold up for a few minutes. We can
Jessica, we're gonna have to,
hold up.
yeah, just hold up until 7:55, if you're okay with that.
Yep, that's totally fine. Yep.
Sorry.
Let's not go over that. There's just a couple of these we can do.
Oh, yeah, no. You get there.
Let's look at that.
So in 6 minutes, can we knock off?
Let's knock a few of these off.
Joan, how long is your report?
It's mine
Oh, it's your report?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
here for support and
Okay.
questions. Yeah.
She's here for,
well, thank you for joining us. Joan Walk
with
was,
support, yeah?
Yep.
is,
Oh, you're here to present?
I'm here to present.
Oh,
She's here to support me
oh, you said,
presenting.
you're on the
oh,
board.
okay.
Yeah.
so Joan Walk was,
Actually, I wrote the report.
Yep, she wrote the annual report that I'm gonna be presenting.
can you do it?
I can do it
Can you
in 6 minutes, yep.
Let's just get
Hartley,
on,
can you
get started.
give me sharing capabilities, please? Screen sharing?
And that's for
Okay, give me a second here.
3
Okay.
point what?
This would be.
So this is-
Okay, you should have it now.
So this is 3.1, and we're gonna roll 4.1 into it because this was a document that we received as part of our correspondence.
With Wild and Scenic?
Yes.
Screen sharing.
I don't know.
Hartley.
Hartley, can you try again with the screen sharing?
Okay, I will. Oh, you got it.
Oh, yeah, let me see. You
Oh,
got it.
hold on.
Got it.
We got it. All right, let's talk, it's your turn. Floor.
What?
Okay. All right, so the Nashua River Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council was formed to protect our outstanding remarkable resources, biological diversity, scenic, recreational, historical, and cultural values. Representatives from the Nashua River Water Association, the National Park Service, and 11 different communities participate in the council. They offer monthly public meetings. And in 2019, Nashua River and Scenic, the Nashua Wild and Scenic River Acts was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives and signed into law by the President, designating sections of the Nashua, Squanicook, and Nessettucket rivers as partnerships Partnership Wild and Scenic Rivers.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that butchers words.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So accomplishments from this past year include land protection grants, the Forestry Legacy Program, interpretive signage, regional conservation planning workshops, the Dragonfly Mercury project, the River Canoe Access and Recreation charrette, and sponsorship of invasive species removal projects and the Wild Inside programs that are free educational programs. So we're going to be familiar with some of these. The Community Grants Program continues to support projects that protect the rivers, resources, and build local stewardship in accordance with the Nashua Rivers Stewardship Plan. In 2019, they awarded a total of $27,268 for 8 projects. Grantee organizations committed over $143,000 worth of matching funds and volunteer hours from local communities. Which Townsend's in there for non-native invasive plant training at Adams Dam area. And the council continues their grant program to further local conservation efforts by providing funds to support the acquisition, transaction, and other due diligence costs associated with land protection. The Stewardship Council awarded $35,208 in funding for 3 projects. Grantee organizations committed almost $11,000 worth of matching funds and volunteer hours for local communities. So, the Nashua River Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council consists of representatives, and in most cases, there's an alternate representative appointed by the participating town's Board of Selectmen. The council meets on the 3rd Thursday of each month, and there's current openings for Townsend, Lancaster, and Pepperell. If anyone's interested,
To work with NR
to be on the Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council.
through the Nashville River watershed? Or
No.
Wild and Scenic is a separate?
Wild and Scenic is a separate council.
We don't have anybody from Townsend representing it.
Joan.
We
does.
We
do.
do?
Yep.
Okay,
So
then.
But they
Joan's
wanted to
present.
like an alternate.
Here's our contact information, and she is present if anyone has any further questions. I also have a
Mr.
link
Steers, there's room for
to the
you.
free educational programs that are offered. And I'd like to thank Joan for her service and work on the stewardship.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
Now, how much time do you devote to working with them? Minimal?
She wishes.
No.
Yep.
You gotta look at what you're
Yeah.
gonna jump into, that's why I'm asking.
It varies widely. There's members who attend meetings,
Mhm.
so it's about 2 hours a month. That's kind of not the way I tend to do things, so, an officer.
That's why I
Yeah.
laughed.
Right.
So I'm clerk on the council, and I help to administer a lot of these grants and do a lot of the other, write this
So
report.
you are doing some of the grant writing, or you're working
No,
with the grant
grant
writers?
administration to review the grant applications
Okay,
and help to
okay.
develop the documentation that goes with the grant awards. So it's
Verbiage and
turned into more
documentation.
work than just a couple
So
of
the
hours.
2 hours a month is turned into 30 hours a week, is what you're saying?
For me, but it doesn't have to for another representative, right?
Are you in that dire need, or?
There should be 2 from Townsend, and within the next year or 2, Paul and I plan to be moving away from Townsend, so it would be nice to have someone to start filling in and continue this, because it's been good for Townsend. She only showed you last year's grant awards. Over the past few years, Townsend's been highly represented there. We've had a lot of projects come in funded through this program. And James attended one of those workshops, the Squanicook Regional workshop, and Townsend was well represented there. So,
Where was that down?
You can't leave.
There's a lot of good that came to Townsend, I think, through this stewardship council.
Well, that's
When
great.
we originally presented it to the town, some people had concerns that other towns would get more money and we wouldn't get much because we're Townsend. It's not turned out to be that way at all. It's been really good for our town and for the Swan Brook Bridge.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much.
I can tell you more about the track.
Well,
later, but
what
it
I'm
was-
getting from that, it seems like it would be in our favor to acclimate somebody to it, to get them, if she is not gonna be here much longer,
Not gonna let her leave.
I don't have time.
It's 2 years, but it gives someone a chance to step up and learn how.
Acclimate them, get them involved in it so they can see what's going on.
Yeah, you could, serve as the apprentice and kind of.
Or
work
the
and
alternate,
see-
yeah.
The alternate, I
It's-
mean, and.
And one other, if I may, one other thing I would just throw out there is, I don't have a background in conservation. I'm not a professional, but a lot of people on this council are. So it's a really nice opportunity for networking and knowing some of these other, James saw what kind of people were on the council when you
Yeah.
attended that thing. It's a real good
And
opportunity.
there's a lot of overlap between, and Joan's really big with the Squanicook River Rail Trail.
Yep, no, I
You were one of
understand.
the founding members,
I,
right?
I would volunteer a limited amount to get involved in with it, just gotta get to see what's going on with it. But I'm already looking to just, I'm doing the conservation, I'm getting ready to get all the names together for the Agriculture Commission. I just don't see myself having that amount of time to devote to it.
But someone else might, so.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be somebody.
Right.
Like I say, the agricultural commission's kind of died, and we're gonna get that, breathe some life back into that.
We really do, we gotta, that's the next thing I'm
I feel
trying
like
to
just
work.
in general, like tapping into the outdoor natural resources that we have,
It's,
it'll bring people out a little bit
Yeah,
more.
what you
I
need.
gotta do better at it, but I mean, like Joan and Paul agree.
it's what the town needs.
Absolutely.
So,
We don't have
Maybe
enough, we don't
you're-
have enough people that wanna, that give some of their time freely in town.
And we're having a tough enough time to getting volunteers, we're running,
4, and we should have 7.
Right.
so,
It's the same thing.
but I would
Understood.
get your number, I'll go to some meetings, get it, get a feel of it and start seeing if I can get some volunteers.
Tomorrow night,
Excuse me.
tomorrow night meeting.
Well, this is one meeting for the week.
You can zoom in, then.
2 sidewalks, 2 meetings this week.
I know.
Okay, so
So, we gotta keep going,
We gotta
because
get
we're
through
behind.
7:55.
so we took
Right.
3.1 and 4.1, just
Yep.
Yeah.
knock them out.
So we're gonna go move to 2.4. Jessica,
2.4.
thank you for sticking around. Appreciate that. So it is 7:59, 2.4, RDA, TWB 2024-167. Applicants National River Watershed Association, 0 Riverbanks Terrace, Adams Dam. Pursuant to the Massachusetts WPA and Townsend Wetlands bylaws, the Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a work session on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, during their 7 PM meeting. Work session will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on RDA filed with the Conservation Commission by National River Watershed Association. The property is located at 0 Riverbank Terrace and 0 Turnpike Road. Assessors map 51, parcel 39, and assessors map 18, parcel 27. 0 Turnpike Road, sound right?
It's a riverbank terrace.
Proposed project is to plant 120 native bare root trees, tree and shrub seedlings along the bank of the Squanicook behind the Farmers Exchange. All work will take place in a riverfront area, land subject to flooding and NHESP priority habitats of rare species. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of that, yeah, this application are available for review at town hall during normal business hours. This also has a waiver to work within the 35-foot vegetative buffer. Jessica, thank you for joining us and sticking with us.
Thank you. Yep. I will just say that this project is under the auspices of the grant that I spoke about just a few minutes ago, in partnership with the Merrimack River Conservation Partnership and funded by the USDA Forest Service. This particular site is a little bit more tricky because it has a history of intense usage for people that are getting down from the top of a pretty steep hill down the bank to the river to swim or to fish. And I think that there's been efforts in the past to control erosion at the site, and I understand that there are efforts are some planning to continue to do that are ongoing that the town itself is planning to do some additional erosion control work there as well. However, this project would come in and provide some help to control erosion along that steep bank, starting with plantings, a few plantings along the parking lot at the end of Riverbank Terrace, and moving parallel to the river down to behind the buildings at the Farmers Exchange. The site is quite sandy in many areas, and so we'd be using slightly different species. We'd be targeting a lot of oak for that area, which can tolerate those sandy soils. Again, very minimal disturbance during the actual work is the plan. Of course, it is steep slope, so we'll have to take some extra care, but the actual openings to plant the plants is minimal. During the site walk on Monday, I spoke with the commission members and the agent about some of the planning that is underway to deal with the site from the town's own perspective. And I know that Autumn mentioned, that you would like to sort of create an actual path for people to use to channel people into a certain location so that the rest of the area could be stabilized and planted and built back into a better vegetative buffer. And so we just talked about how, we'd be very happy to work around whatever plans are generated over the next couple of months and to do our plantings outside of those areas and to support those efforts in any way that we can. That's the gist of it. And I'm happy to take any questions that you have.
I don't know anything. I know the area, although I didn't go to the sidewalk, I know the area.
Yeah.
It's cut and dry, it's steep, just the same, it's a pretty sandy area.
Yeah, it's a sandy, excuse me, I just would add that it's a sandy area, and I'm pretty sure you're all familiar. Currently, there's some jute or some other sort of like a geotextile that's down to hold the slopes in. These plantings that we're proposing won't take care of all the problems, but they will certainly help the roots from these individuals as they grow will help to stabilize the bank and supplement any other efforts that might be underway there.
Okay. So.
I'm good with it. Whatever, great. That's great. You have a question, Jim? You know the area, we used to swim there.
I already commented that the reason why I did not go onto the sidewalk area, I think that area needs a broader amount of engineering for it to come to fruition to be a successful area. It would be a shame to see trees planted in there and find out that we can get some engineering and they'll be compromised in that because that whole area needs to be stabilized, more fill needs to be brought in. I mean, terracing. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to get that really effective and up to a good usage. Right at the moment, if you go fishing down, when she mentions people going down to the brook to go fishing, once you go down, you're not coming back up. It's that steep of an area. I mean, the jute work to a degree, but there's a great deal of work that needs to be done if it's really going to shine and be effective in something really doing
I
it,
think this is. a
doing us
start.
some justice. It's really stabilizing it,
Yeah.
Kevin, by putting, throwing plants at it. Truly, to me, that's what it is, and I just hope that the effort in putting the plants in isn't in vain. That's all I got to say. That would be a
Well
good
spoken.
spot to
Julie-
target for
Julie-
some good grant money.
Duly noted.
And they want to use the trestle for the continuation of the rail trail. That's in the big picture of it. So, thank you for the duly notation.
Duly noted.
I like that. Makes me feel like he's listening. You know,
We're all listening.
Oh, no,
And it's a fair statement to make, and that it's an area that, again, we can use as a showcase to, so.
Yeah.
The restoration of along the river, especially on steep sandy slopes, which is in just that area. There's a lot of others, and with all these heavy rains and heavy, 100-year rains that we're not getting just once every 100 years. It's
100 years is
two
a
to three
cast
times a year
iron.
now.
They're using far greater than,
And the erosion on my section of the Squanicook was surprising this year.
correct.
Yeah, you got the area right that corner.
Yep.
Used to swim there too.
Big, a lot of trees down in there.
Well, everybody can see how the Squanicook is leveling out and is raising.
Oh, yeah.
And you notice it's got a sand base to it now.
You and I would
does.
jump off the trestle.
And
and
that's all attributed to what?
It's a lot sandier than it was.
When we were
this time
kids, we
last year.
jump off the center trestle.
Is
We used to dive
there an
on it.
effort to clean up the down trees across Squanicook and stuff? Is there?
They undertook that, Jimmy, what, 6 years ago?
4 years ago, 5 years ago. Fish and Game
Least.
doesn't really, they
They don't want you to
frown
do
on those, because those are where the little bobcats walk across. That's wildlife crossing, when those trees are down. They have a degree of need. It's like when I do forestry, we leave dead and standing for the birds, for the woodpeckers.
Right.
That's all a part of the ecosystem, but the trees being down across in certain areas are crucial to wildlife crossing. Sometimes the little bobcats don't like their feet getting wet,
They don't want you to canoe down the river anymore.
but there's ways of getting around that too. We worked with what they wanted us to do, and we still are really able to get down through with the canoes with minimal porting. So everybody's got to live together in certain ways.
In harmony.
So I'm gonna, motion to issue a PA with a -3 determination for the work to be done at 0 Riverbank Terrace and, 0 Turnpike Road under Townsend Wetlands by 2024-167.
Also,
Roll call vote.
James Drain, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Gemma, yes.
I'd like to also make a motion, to waive the 35-foot vegetative buffer for this project as work will be completed within it. Do I have a second?
Second,
Roll call vote.
James Drain, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Gemma, yes.
What is that, our third waiver for the 35 today?
Oh,
No, second.
Second, okay.
But we have another one to,
Yeah, I have a feeling we will get to
we
3.
have 2 more,
there are a couple more tonight to deal with.
with that. Jessica, thank you for, joining us tonight and presenting, and Autumn will be in touch when everything's ready.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks again
Thank you, Jessica.
for the visit down on West Meadow too.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. We're moving on, 8:10.
Good time.
Perfect.
So you are interested in joining the Conservation Commission?
I thought about it.
Keep thinking. We need members.
So 8:11, moving on to 2.5. notice of intent, for 65 Main Street. Townsend Historic Society, Townsend Wetlands. We do not have the DEP number yet, but this is under,
We don't
Townsend.
for 65,
no,
and we got 42 and 22s that quick.
there's no, there's no
Those are
NOI.
RDAs,
Yeah,
not NOIs.
TVW.
PWB 2024-166. Pursuant to the Massachusetts WPA and Townsend Wetlands bylaws, Townsend Concom will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024 at approximately 8:10 p.m. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall. For a notice of intent filed with Concom by his Townsend Historic Society. The property is located at 65 Main Street, Assessor's Map 34, parcel 50. The proposed project is for the installation of a septic system, tight tank, and building addition with associated site grading. Part of the construction will take place within 35 feet of the bordering vegetated wetlands. Also, the proposed tight tank is proposed less than 10 feet from the 100-year flood hazard zone. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available to review at Town Hall during business hours.
For anybody not familiar with this site.
So we need
this is
a-
fire station, so
We need a motion and a second to open the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing. for
I'll
the,
second it.
65 Main Street.
For 65 Main Street,
Pat, second.
Townsend Historical Society.
Pat, second. Roll call vote, please.
James Troyan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamali, yes.
Autumn, did you check the abutters list to see if it matches
Yep.
the list that was provided? Okay. Chris McKenzie is joining us with Zillis and Roy. Do you want to go for the plan?
I have it, yeah. Hartley, can you give me screen sharing
Yeah.
capabilities, please?
I didn't bring a hard copy with me.
Okay, doesn't matter, you're all forgiven.
Yeah.
It's all right.
There's a
Chris,
reason
you'll
for
be
that.
all right.
I think you still
Yeah.
have it. You still have
Oh,
the
okay.
screen sharing capabilities.
Thanks.
The Board of Health came back with another revision after.
Hey, Jessica, you there?
Yes, what's up?
Can you pull up the plan for this project? Because Autumn's laptop just died.
Oh, man. Yes, Hartley, can I have screen sharing, please?
Coming right up.
Thank God for
Okay, you got it.
the Board of Health
Thank you.
Technical Modernization. huh?
They, I think we may have discussed this on site a little bit. There was a question about the occupancy for the building. The assessor's office, because of fire station, had no real occupancy criteria at all. So I forget who it was. I spoke with somebody that suggested that it would be maybe around 80 people. So I designed the tight tank based on that number. Not that that matters, because the minimum requirements for a tight tank are far more than the amount of flow there. I had it as 80 people. Apparently, the building inspector has looked at the building
Size.
plans, and somewhere on there, I guess it says it's 25 people. So I've had to revise the plan to 25 people, which really is just a matter of changing the number 80 to 25 people and redoing the numbers, but the minimum sizing that we're using is still the same minimum sizing. So nothing on the plan changes other than what we're calling it. So it's gonna be 25 people at 125 gallons a day instead of 80 people at 400 gallons a day or whatever it was.
Jimmy, yeah,
So,
maybe we should, like, actually, Chris, just
Yeah.
discuss the
yeah,
whole
I'm
project.
defeated.
Is that okay?
I
So,
noticed I didn't have anything to go with. You know?
So,
Really isn't much to go with, Joe. Just what it is.
yeah, there isn't much here, so it's a really tiny lot, it's 67 by 65 feet, fire station in the middle here. The proposal is to put a new tight tank located here, it'll be 3,000 gallons. That should be enough for 10 days of full usage every day, which probably isn't gonna happen out there. So they won't have to pump that very often. So a new tank's gonna go there. There's gonna be a small addition on the back here. I think that's mostly for bathroom purposes and janitor's closet or something gonna be there. So it's really more for those purposes. That'll be added in the back. Other than that, there really isn't much going on. We've got erosion control shown around the entire work area, except on this uphill side. Even though it is technically in a buffer zone, the buffer zone is on that side. And of course, we show there's a 100-foot buffer as well to the canal. Of course, that's across the street. You know, if the commission feels it's necessary, we could probably put some kind of erosion controls across the front of the property, but that wouldn't make a lot of sense for access and purpose. And I don't think anything's going there. It's gonna have to go up and over the road and over the curb on the other side to get to the canal. So I don't think too much is necessary there. There was a question I think Jessica brought up about riverfront area. We did some investigation of that stream over there. We found it to be about 3/500ths of a square mile. It has to be at least a half a mile to be even looked further investigated, and it needs to be a square mile to be automatically considered a river. It's not a named brook. There is a name
Many.
sign out there, but it's not on any maps as a named brook. It's not on the USGS maps. It only shows as intermittent on other maps, but it never, I don't find any place where it.
And it's certainly not noted as a cold water fishery or anything of the sort.
No,
So,
nothing like that. The canal as well does not fall, and does not have a riverfront associated with it. So what we show here is a line coming here and there, which is basically the 200-foot from the corner of the dam.
which means just about on 119, right? Just
Yes,
right
right,
to
yeah,
the
no.
edge.
It actually just hits the property corner right here, and that's it. It
That's
doesn't
it.
actually come onto the property.
Right.
So the buffer for the brook wetland is way out here, and then the canal's here, so the entire site's in the 100-foot buffer. We also show the 100-year flood line runs approximately like that. That was pulled off of the maps. I'm sure, you know, if you actually did it by elevation or something, it would look a little different, but that's how it shows on the maps. We've got the tank outside of that. The Board of Health asked about the potential of moving it a little further away. I know there are requirements about that. The existing water line runs right here, and we are 10 feet off of that, 10.5 feet. So we're really 10 foot is required.
So you're in the middle of what it is.
It
It is what it
right
is.
in, yeah.
Okay.
Chris, do you have the location of the gas line?
I don't know if there's any gas in the building.
I'm not sure.
We did run
I saw
into, we
meter,
did this
but I could
test
be
hole
wrong.
here.
They found the old one.
What's that?
They found the old gas line going.
They found the old one.
there.
And I thought the gas company came out and looked at it and said that there were no live things in that area that we needed to worry about. DigSafe was notified, I believe, before we went out there,
Right.
and nothing showed up. I think it's out in the street, but I don't think.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the main, that's the big one.
Building's not
that-
even heated right
It's not.
now. There's nothing there, I don't believe.
So that's inactive.
Right, but if you're gonna have a septic, you're going to need heat.
You're gonna have a tight tank.
Well,
Yes, correct.
You're gonna- you have
I'm
water.
sure they're gonna put in some kind of a heating system into there, probably some simple mini splits or something, whatever they're gonna put in there,
yeah,
you know. But that's not gonna affect, you know, I mean, they're obviously gonna have some kind of,
So does
There's a
Unitil
heat in
need to
there.
be approached to find out where they would want the line to go in?
Yeah, but
So
I,
they're
you know,
usually-
Usually you make a guess,
yeah, they'll make the gas line work somewhere. They'll go over to the right-hand side.
but it still has to be.
That's what I was
You know,
thinking, right
It's
hand
well away
side,
from, the tight tank or any area, anything.
away from the
construction
tight
area.
tank, away from the water line, away from
Well,
Minnie's.
you can go
Yeah.
over the water line. No, you can't, never mind. But,
No. No,
yeah, no, I know. It's
They
I
just-
think it's
need to.
separate.
Right, you don't need to, but either way, if you're gonna approve the project, you should know that gas going in, just roll it into the
We,
approval.
we probably should. Make
there
a
an
note, make a
existing
note that if there's gonna be gas,
there?
if there's gonna be gas line going up, say the right-hand side of the building,
There's no
that it's,
viable system.
There's no system there.
No, there's 3 conversations going in. No, you're right about the gas. Is there a bathroom in the building, Chuck?
There's going to be a,
No, there's going,
there
but is there,
but it's
current-
not, it'll never be used for public. It's
we're talking currently in the
currently
existing,
there's about,
there is. Probably just goes to a cesspool.
Yeah, number is too short. What I found out so far is everybody kind of thinks there's something right in this area, right over here.
makes sense.
To the back corner,
Yeah.
closest to the brook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the good old days back
Yeah.
then.
yeah.
One of the observations we did make on site was the, sump pump that discharges into the
Minnie's
waterway.
Brook,
So we have an active sump pump? That's been, it's still running?
It kicked on when we were
Yeah, it
there.
was,
Okay.
it was a little more than that.
And it looked like the top of it right at the building. I don't
when
know if
they,
it was,
when they restore the building, they're obviously gonna be upgrading that.
I assume so.
You know, because they're gonna put a little bit of a addition on the backside of the building. Plus, I think they're gonna repair or replace the existing foundation on the left-hand side there where it's busted up, I'm assuming.
That's, I don't think that's
under the
listed.
addition, that's all new foundation, I believe. The original building, I don't think they're doing anything with the foundation.
On this end? Sure.
On the Brook side, I believe they're doing work on that foundation.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. That's the section I was talking about.
Right.
That's actually the new section, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be doing that.
Is
They're
that
probably
in,
gonna put a new line in.
Hold on, Kevin, was that in the permit filing, the foundation work?
Repair.
I don't recall hearing about any foundation work. But we,
Well, we wanna
I
put it in there
assume
if
was
it's not.
like you need to put something in language about the water discharge from the sump pump.
Right, I don't know how we got to where we got, but, yeah, in terms of that, you can see that the wall isn't jeopardized, but it's slowly pushing out, specifically where the sump pump.
Discharging? You're referring to the retaining wall?
Yes, but the worst part is right where the sump pump discharges into the brook,
Hmm.
which it's done since the dawn of time. But that's going to be a weak point because of the, freeze thaw in the water, the excess water that doesn't completely come out.
There's a pipe that goes right through that wall, down below, about 3 feet down. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
There is a pipe under the wall that's probably below the frost line in there, where, I'm gonna say that's probably where it used to come out, or it should be coming out. Probably
It
should
shouldn't
be
be
coming.
coming out into the stream now. If they're gonna do all the work, it should be discussed, is there a better place for it to come out?
There's no other place for it to come out. Where you gonna put it? Drop it out on top of the ground and then it's gonna run over the top of the
Well,
wall.
depending on what's the seasonal high water table?
It's,
There was one of the neighbors.
It's up there.
One out there because of the test holes out there.
it's about 21 inches.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because.
No, you'd be surprised. It's deep. It's a couple feet down. I'm just thinking,
28 inches then.
so my concern is that the water coming out of the wall, any water that doesn't come out of the pipe gets trapped in the soil, freezes, and pushes, it heaves.
Yeah, no, I got you. That's why I say, there's an existing hole below that wall about 3 feet down. That's where the water should come out. It should come out through that wall and then drop right in the water.
It shouldn't come out of the wall. if we're upgrading, should it be coming
What's
up?
gonna put it?
Could you do a dry well? If it,
With that much amount of water? I don't know, Jim,
I don't think it's the amount of water coming out. If ever the situation befalls us, if there was an oil leak, if there was some type of contaminant in
Into
the
the-
foundation area, we're discharging it out into Minnie's Brook, which in turn is gonna go into the Harbor
Minnie's Brook.
Pond. So we're just trying to find
Yeah, I don't know if there's no, I
alternate
don't
way
know.
of removing the water from inside the basement in a more appropriate manner.
What's the
Dry well.
alternative, though?
Would they need to put a corrugated tank in there just to receive that overflow? And like Kevin said, if water rises up, it's gonna come back in.
right,
So,
I don't know, I used to own a house right a few doors down from
you're
there.
the most experienced in it, that's
I
why we're
remember
listening.
the day I bought it, it was 1, 2, 3 splash when I walked down the cellar stairs.
Gotcha.
The 4th step was splash. And that seemed to be about where it was across the road where you guys
It's a
are.
constant,
And
it's a
it
constant.
stays there. I don't think it's any different right at the firehouse.
Mhm.
So, you know.
And we're all of a
What are you gonna
mind,
do, try
we
to put a
know,
shallow leach field in, a Presby type of system that's gonna take up a lot of square footage
for nothing.
in there, and then, and you're gonna
there's
pump
no-
that kind of
there's no
water in,
room.
you're gonna pump that kind of water in. Yeah, where you gonna get, where you gonna get it?
Anything you put in there is gonna be probably less than 5 feet from the
Yeah.
building, so you pump the water out into something that's just
And you're gonna be
Put it right
pumping it
back
out,
into the
and you're gonna
building.
be pumping it out basically right into the water table.
Right,
What difference does
But
it
if
make if
they're
you
also
pump it out
doing-
and drop it into the brook?
but if they're also doing foundation repairs, I assume they're gonna waterproof it all and,
Well, I'm assuming, but that's not gonna change the sump pump is picking up groundwater.
right,
The groundwater is high there,
Very much so.
so I don't know. Food for thought.
Mhm.
Should
I mean, I
someone
think
go
we need
in
to
and
let them,
check
I think we
down
need to let
below?
them do
I don't know.
what they gotta do.
right, Pat?
Yeah.
Pat, ask the question again, please.
I just was wondering if somebody should go down and check and see where the water, how deep it is or whatever, and see where that pipe is and.
Well,
how
the
it's
test holes are indicative of
going.
the water
But
table.
no, the test hole failed, so
Yeah,
they
'cause
can't
it's
get,
filled.
they
the
can't get
test
an
hole all we
accurate-
found was fill. We,
Because they filled in.
Yeah.
I think we got about 5 or 6 feet down. We started
Yeah, they
to get
did,
what
you know they
seemed like-
did.
Yeah, but where'd you find the water, Chris? It did 3 feet?
Well, at that point, it was all filled, so we didn't
No, you
see
didn't
any.
go looking for it at that point.
Right, so there was no modeling.
Yeah, it
which is
didn't
what
come
we
jumping,
look
didn't
for.
come jumping up into the fill.
Right, no, it
You
didn't.
didn't leave it open long enough or something, or it didn't come jumping,
Right.
purging
It was fairly
into
dry
the
too
fill.
at that time. So, but, you know, I would venture to say it's 2 feet or less, really. in that
That'd be about
area.
my take on it.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere where it's saying what they're gonna do, right? I mean, it's not,
Well, they're very limited, Pat, as to what they can do, whatever they do there, to manage the water. You know, they're putting in there's no leach in the property, they're putting in just a simply holding tank. But they'll pump out monthly or whatever, depending on this. The water that's coming out of that, submersible pump, the
Mhm.
dewatering type of pump, sump pump, whatever you wanna call it, it's got no place to go but out a pipe that drops into
Right.
that, what
So,
we call Minnie's Brook.
So,
There are new innovative ways to clean water that's going into a brook like that. Like I know at a state park I worked at, they had tubs that were at a site where there's an inflow of water into Lake Erie. And a way to clean that water they had in those totes was mycelium, which is mushroom roots in a way, infiltrated in wood chips. And so the water would filter through that and the mushrooms would remove some of the toxins. Not that there is toxins at the site or anything, but if there were, that could be an idea of a way to clean the water entering the stream.
We need to find a home for the water in the basement. We need to figure out a location.
So
When
what-
it flows out, it can go back to, because it's gonna go in Minnie's Brook one way or another,
It's gonna end up
sooner or
there.
later. And there's no getting around it. If
It's gonna end
anything,
up there, Jim. I just don't know any way to mitigate.
to egress it out. I don't see it either.
Excuse me, Jim, there's a gentleman behind there.
Only because this is relevant, exactly what you're talking about. I grew up at 6 Spalding Street, which is the abutting property. My
Can you
mom's
please state
property-
your name?
Well, my name is Jared McCaffrey. I'm the son of Gloria and Jim McCaffrey, who
Yep.
own 6 Spalding Street. Behind the fire station does flood for days or longer. Minnie's Brook will become a tiny pond behind the fire station at times.
Behind your house, behind.
Yes,
behind
it's
where
all
you
the
grew
way
up.
at the bottom of the hill behind,
Yeah.
at the north side of that.
Yeah, because that
Thing,
used
so
to have
you're
a
talking about what
little-
happens where.
Yeah, there's a little dam area there.
There is a dam, I don't
Yeah.
know, 100 feet up or something like that. But,
So the cellar in your parents' house,
we're up another 50 feet in elevation on a hill.
so you don't have any water issues or sump pump within the basement?
No,
Of
because
your house.
the actual home is much higher in elevation.
Yeah, it's Harry Knight's old
But
place.
you were asking where does it go when it gets pumped into Minnie's Brook? It does back up. That portion just north on the map does turn into a small pond for several days or a week sometimes, if there's high water. Just adding it because
Thank you.
seemed like that was the question out there, does it get across the street or not? It does back up there as well.
Thank you.
I think we really pretty much realize that the water does build up behind the fire station. It demonstrated it because when you look at Minnie's Brook, the retaining wall and where the water flows through and where the water comes out beyond 119, it's scoured. All the root areas are scoured. So there's a torrent of water that rips through there. So we know that. And it will build up. I think we deal with it just like any sump pump that comes out of a house. I mean, I understand what Autumn meant about pre-treating to try to remove any impurities, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, there's no oil furnace or anything in the basement of that
That's
place
what I was
now,
gonna
am I-
say.
am I
So we're
correct?
not
No
concerned.
heat in that building now, right, John? That you're
I don't
aware
think
of.
so.
And whatever they put in is probably gonna be either natural gas mini splits or something. It's not a big area.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
right
not
to be-
expecting doing oil in there at all.
No. So, I mean.
But you understand where my concern
No,
is.
I
We
get
would
it.
not want contaminants from inside that building and that foundation area to get pumped out if there
No.
was oil, et cetera. So why don't we pump the water right out, let it go ground level, big area of crushed rock, like everybody does in America with their sump pumps going right out. Don't put it in a mini brook, let it
leach
flow.
itself into the.
let it just go on the top of the water area. It'll make water always knows where to go.
Where you gonna put it?
You put it behind the building.
Yeah,
There's
we
an
just don't want to see
there's
the
an
water
up
pumping
gradient.
directly out.
Yeah, but you
into
only
it,
got,
Kevin.
you only got about 8 feet of property that you own. You gotta be on their land.
On my mom's land, yeah.
But you do have, this upper
There's area.
gradient, so you can
There's
increase the
area to
height
pump it out
as you
ground
go.
to a surface area, just to let it splay out and go on its natural way.
Obviously you don't,
What else can you do with it?
No.
I mean, other than directly or putting, a tile in, that doesn't make any sense
you
either.
could tile on the other side of the building.
Bring it
but
across
you
and
need
bring
to
it
get-
down, bring
you
it
need
across
to-
and bring it down here along the property line?
Yeah, but you could also do it if you use geotextile fabrics on top of it, across the parking lot, as long as it's sand.
Yeah.
As you guys found it was
Oh,
fill.
You're Phil right over here to the property
Where
line.
we dug on the side over here.
You
Right.
got Phil.
To the right side of the
And
building.
when you get to that line, your folks own that piece as well, because you go right around the side, down the side.
Under natural conditions, as it stands right now, it already floods multiple times in the spring.
Sure.
So anything you add to it is just gonna make that.
The alternative is, what would it take to get a permit to plummet right into the catch basin on 119?
This basin here,
Yeah.
where's that go?
What catch basin are you looking
The
at?
drain, Kevin, here's the line.
Catch basin
Huh?
from the building.
Is there a catch basin there?
Yeah, there's a catch basin right here.
Yeah, and they're plumbed in a series.
So that's to the other side of
So
one
what's that- what's
nineteen.
that?
Well, it goes up
That
to
goes-
Harbor Lane.
So that goes, oh, it's going that way?
It's going both ways.
So that one goes down and then drops
Yeah.
in down below you?
Yeah, there's
Where
a
your
drain
back right
manhole
there?
there, so I think it goes right into that drainage manhole, whichever way that goes
Well,
from there.
That might be
I don't know.
one option, I guess, Jimmy. I guess.
And
No.
keep it off the ground.
There's
and
the other
keep
one
it-
to the opposite
Out of
side
the
of
water.
one nineteen.
It's gonna end up,
Okay.
it's gonna end up right, it's gonna end up there anyway.
Well, like, with
Whatever.
the city of Pittsburgh, the foundation drains right into the manhole, or right into the catch basin.
Yeah.
That's part of what they do. It's not that much water.
That's a
We
state,
saw it.
that's a state catch basin.
I know, so that's why I asked, what would it take to be able to do that?
Let's not get all caught up on this one.
Well, but everyone there's valid points all around the table and in the audience that, and it's something that needs to get discussed because it does jeopardize that wall or increases the,
Well, it doesn't if it runs down through the pipe that was probably, but you got the water quality
Right.
issue by running it into there anyway. There is a pipe down underneath there, about 3 feet down.
but still, you
Yeah.
have the water quality.
But you got a water quality concern. Do you test the water
That's what I was gonna say.
initially? Do you test the water initially after the construction's done or during construction? And after
I
the
do
construction's
before and
done?
after.
If the water's deemed perfectly clean, because it's just flowing like crazy down through there, coarse sand.
It
That
should be mostly just groundwater.
it should be,
Right.
that's all it's gonna be, should be is groundwater.
Groundwater.
Test it once during construction, or when they start construction, test it, and then test it when it's done. And let it go, tie it back into the pipe that's 3 feet down in, we're gonna call
Oh.
it Minnie's Brook.
You just don't know what the condition is. It's probably an old clay pipe or cast iron, so you hope that
Whatever
it's
it
not
is.
filled with roots.
Whatever it is, you should be able to connect to it. Or run a 3-inch sleeve right in plastic, right out inside
So
it.
I'm gonna
I
guide
mean,
this because we're at.
yeah, we're
late.
running out of time.
I think that it needs,
This
Chris,
gentleman would like to say something.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah, that actually wasn't the real reason I was here. I have something further to add.
Can we finish our talk about
Yeah,
this
just
first
one
and then we
second.
can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give us 1 minute, sir.
Absolutely.
so, or I feel that, Chris, maybe you guys can figure out a solution. It's an option,
Yes, it's a very limited site.
right?
Listening to you guys, and I'm trying to think of some kind of great idea I can throw at you.
You did it with the
Not
church
coming
though.
up with anything.
You did it with the church though, with that
Yeah.
little trench around the.
This is a little
The field.
tougher. There really
You
isn't, any
You got a
any
pipe,
land area to deal with.
you got a pipe that runs in there
You
right
try
now.
to, you try to put any kind of, leaching basin or anything in there, and one side of it's gonna be on the property line, the other side's gonna be right up against the
And
foundation.
it's gonna be all of 2 feet deep.
Pushing it right back at it.
And yeah.
It's gonna push it right back into the cellar. It's just all it's gonna do. That's all it's gonna do is keep walking water.
And even something out on the surface into some kind of
Yeah, where do you go?
stone thing, there's no way to make it go. And if we do it on this side, I'd certainly then be concerned about the structural integrity of the wall. If you start dispersing that water between the building and that wall, something's gonna give in there.
Right.
You can't really go out towards the street, that won't work out. Going behind, you don't have any land area back there, and
And
the
it's just
neighbor
gonna
already
go right
says it
back.
floods, or it's just gonna come right back at you. It's really, I don't see a lot of options other than maybe keeping it going into the brook and doing what needs to be done to make it okay.
Below the wall, where there's
Well,
already something.
Right.
It's not our. Jacques, is it directly related to this topic?
Directly related
Okay.
to this. I haven't looked at the plans in a while, but I'm not sure there's a cellar in those plans. I think it's a crawl space.
So we don't have the building plans, we only have the site plans.
I don't have a copy. I have a feeling it's a slab.
Slab.
Problem.
So the area,
Well,
the-
that's if that's the case, then
Then
it's
it won't be a
one. Right now, there's a partial cellar.
So-
underneath.
Agreed. I do not believe they're putting in a basement. I could be wrong.
the area with the partial cellar, is that being demoed? Or is that?
So,
Well, that's the part with the wall, the foundation wall, that's all being replaced as far as I know. Somebody would have to correct me on that.
So do you know if it's full foundation or a frost wall, or if it's gonna be
I
slab, or
don't know the answer to that. I haven't seen enough of that.
so if it's a slab,
that's all a moot point.
Let me see if I get the plans on my phone.
The water's a moot
Mr.
point.
Chair, I think we need to move further, we need to go into further discovery on this.
right, I
We
wanna
need-
make sure that Chris has, what we're looking for.
And this gentleman,
And
Butter
yes,
he still has a question.
So,
We'd like to find out what his question would be.
there were a couple things that were missing from, I guess, the application, but that can be discussed, administratively. I think we need to move on. Chris, I think we need to know, is it a full, wall, or is it just frost wall and with a slab?
Yeah.
Little detail things, so,
We should bring it up the next meeting? Or should we-
yes, so we're gonna continue,
Well,
but I'd like
let's
to,
get this gentleman's
This
question and we can
question.
continue it.
Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily trying to add positive, constructive feedback there, but, the other part of my role is representing my mother. She can't be here tonight, but, I have a statement from her lawyer, that I would like to give to people, about this, it's about, the project.
You have the floor.
You have the floor, yeah. Well,
Sounds good. I've got a copy for everyone at the table, and I can read mine as well, but, basically, Gloria McCaffrey, still continues to oppose firehouse work expansion and repair until significant issues are resolved.
can you speak up a little?
Sure. Gloria McCaffrey continues to oppose firehouse expansion, firehouse work expansion and repair until significant issues are resolved, and the rest of what I'm reading is directly from the lawyer. There are three things that come to mind as problematic. Just putting in the third part, I think, is gonna be most applicable to this board, commission, but, first, there are title issues that remain unresolved. Because the McCaffreys have maintained part of the firehouse parcel since it was deeded to the town, they have a claim for that land in adverse possession. The plan as proposed constitutes a taking without just compensation because the plan exceeds the bounds of the parcel originally conveyed to the town in the 1930s. Second, there's an issue that has never been resolved concerning the belief that the firehouse parcel reverts to the original owners and later their successors' interest upon the firehouse ceasing to be used as a firehouse. Most relevant for you folks, I believe, is the third one, which is that there are environmental concerns that haven't been addressed because a gas station and gasoline tanks a commercial gas station and gasoline tanks were located at the property in question, at the subject. That was back in the 30s, I believe. That it operated as a commercial filling station. And regulations were not what they were. So it raises a lot of questions for what happens when you touch that soil at all. If the remnants of a 100-year-old gas station on the actual firehouse property and abutting properties. That's it. The rest of them, my mom wants to direct that. Anything else to her lawyer who's already talking with town council.
I'd like to thank you for your statement, and
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
duly noted, and,
I do get excited about what's going on, but I've broken on my.
Excuse me, did you have any knowledge of this coming?
oh, no,
No one had any forewarning of, A, there could be possible contaminants, B, I think I heard in your verbiage, there is a contention of ownership of property area
If my mom was
under a squatter's status, under what type of a status? In other words, we're looking at a possibility of a deed area or ownership of this property area in question.
That is what my mom.
Did I understand that? Did I hear this?
Well, I think where he's going, what it appears is they're in communication with town council.
He
over
just
what's
said
called
that.
adverse possession.
I understand that. I truly do. I'm,
So-
We just need to, I
So
think
this
we
is
should,
something that, with the Conservation Commission.
correct.
If this is an issue that is being handled by town council, we shouldn't, as commissioners, we shouldn't be,
I asked a
adding-
specific question.
yeah.
Did we realize that there is, he just presented to this
meeting-
board,
Prior to this meeting, Jimmy? No, I did not know this.
but what he just
was going
presented
to
to
be-
me far outweighs any banter we have right now about a drain coming into Minnie's Brook. I stop right now.
At this
I'm
point,
done
we
right
need-
here.
We need to, correct, I agree. We need to continue this until, I would say that we can, till further notice,
We're throwing,
yeah.
So.
Would
we need a-
that be the
we need a
right way?
motion- We need a motion and a second to continue this hearing to, February 28th meeting.
with,
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing.
with discovery of what this gentleman just brought forward.
Duly noted.
Thank you, Jimmy.
I'll make a motion to continue this hearing until February 28th,
28th is the next meeting. We'll bring that back to life.
until, some of these issues can be resolved.
I'll
And
second that.
you had no knowledge of this. James Durant's,
Second. yeah,
So
second.
Pat seconded.
Oh,
Roll
okay.
call vote, please.
James Durant favor.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
So that's
Thank
going
you,
to
Chris.
go to
Thank you, sir.
Feb 28th, Jimmy.
Yes.
Brought up at the Historical Society meeting in November as well, similar issues, except not at that time, the gas station hadn't been brought up at that time.
We need
The gas
to,
station comes up in the 1935 document.
we need to keep moving.
Yep, this is done right here.
I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
Me too. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
2.5, sorry, 2.6. It's 8:48 PM. Townsend Wetlands Bylaw 2024-168, applicants Townsend Land Use Department, locations 80 Main Street, to Main Street, South Street. Legal notice. Pursuant to the Mass Wetland, WPA and the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw, the Townsend Concom will hold a work session on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, during their 7 PM meeting. The work session will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a request for determination of applicability filed with this conversation, with the Conservation Commission by the Town of Townsend. The right-of-way section is located from 80 Main Street to the intersection of South Street and Main Street. The proposed project is for the construction of sidewalk to connect the Squanicook River Rail Trail and other existing sidewalk under Mass Trails grant from 80 Main Street to the intersection of South Street to tie into the existing sidewalk. The work will cross over a culvert crossing and through riverfront area and bordering lands subject to flooding. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. There is also a waiver request to complete work within the 35-foot vegetative buffer associated with this RDA. Jessica Consalvo is joining us to discuss this.
Good evening, Jessica.
Jessica, you awake?
There
Good
she is.
evening. Wow, I'm half pumpkin already, but thanks for having me tonight. I will share my screen. All right. So these are not formal construction plans or anything. These are 25% design plans that are under review with MassDOT at this time. So potentially take it with a grain of salt. But Basically, the legal ad said it, there is a proposal under the Mass Trails grant to help with rail trail connectivity to construct sort of varying between a 5 and 6 foot asphalt sidewalk on the southern side of Route 119 from approximately the Harbor Church over to the intersection with South Street and Spalding Street. Right now, it's just a pedestrian footpath. So there's going to be about a 5 or 6 foot sidewalk and then a varying width grass strip. And I think as of now, in terms of utilities being affected, there's one guy wire that would need to be replaced. But otherwise, these plans have been designed to wiggle around the different constraints. So you're seeing the western half of the project here on my screen. The buffers that are within CONSCOM jurisdiction are highlighted. So most of the project is within the 200-foot buffer off of Harbor Pond. It is all within floodplain. And then I'll go to the eastern half of the project. Over here is where the project will cross over the culvert carrying Minnie's Brook, the exact same
Minnie's
water
Brook.
feature that we were just discussing. So,
That's a name brook now.
named on this
Right.
side apparently. So, but anyway, so yeah, crossing over Minnie's Brook. I know I explained it at the site visit too, but there is a proposal to install a new guardrail along the side of the road and then install a fence, I believe, between the sidewalk / grass strip and the river itself or the stream itself.
Minnie's
And
Brook.
then, and Minnie's Brook, yes, indeed. And then otherwise it will tie into the existing concrete sidewalk. And then because it is within MassDOT right-of-way, they are requesting some minor intersection improvements with curb cuts or something that makes the curbs more ADA compliant. And so pretty straightforward project, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Where's it going? Where's it
Jessica,
going?
make sure they note to fix that little hole on the sidewalk area.
No,
Okay.
no, down on the east side in front of you guys. Where's it go? Because they're proposing it to stop right there,
I
right?
had to do that.
Did you, well, do we have a full-size
Bigfoot.
copy of the plans?
We do not have a full size. I printed out an 8.5 by 11 and colored it in with my colored pens.
Well, I
So
think part of
you
it,
should have that in front of you.
hold on.
But here, I can, I don't know if that helps.
Yep, it helps.
That helps.
Huh? That's the end of it.
Right.
So right now, it's just a dead end. Got a dead end there.
Well, there's partial sidewalk going to the shop. Yeah, I guess. That's all the money they got.
All right, I'm good. I'm
But
just,
that's,
that's a start.
Yes.
They're gonna make
that's all part of
the
where the
sidewalk from the
continuation
church
goes.
down. And
From where-
they're gonna make the whole thing ADA compliant and make it ADA compliant crossing South Street.
Right.
Yeah,
And then to a point of ending
Well,
today.
Hopefully the landowner across the way will.
Now, whatever, okay, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
good point.
But right now, it's a sidewalk to nowhere.
Valid
That's
point.
okay, it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Um,
All right, Jessica, I'm good.
Well, thank you. That was easy. Yeah, so I did put in a waiver. So this orange line here, that's the 35-foot vegetated buffer, which obviously we will be proposing to cross into, or not we, but the contractor. So I think, oh, here we go. Compost filter tubes are proposed through here for erosion control. But I'm sure if you guys have any special conditions, particularly through here, like if there's some sort of cat mat or something.
You blow now.
On the ground.
You got a bulb,
The stuff that's blown in.
yeah.
And they use
Just
those
continuous.
because they're more concerned about material
I
flow.
don't know. Do you know why
There's
they?
only short stretches, that's why I don't get it. I don't
Right.
understand the reason for it. Just use the big wattles because It's only a
Well,
short
that's what they're
stretch.
doing. Well, oh, the big wattles.
Yeah, just use the big
I
ones.
think
It's only a
because
short
the
stretch.
socks are continuous, that's why.
Why do you need?
Yeah, no, that's
why
a
does
valid
some-
point.
Why does somebody need that expense? You
What's the
know,
point
to
if
do
they're
on-site,
continuous?
to do an on-site sock, when you got little short stretches?
Right, and just do 12-inch.
Yeah, just use a 12-inch wattle.
Yeah, that threw me off a little while they would view the inflated.
Mhm.
Is it, somebody requested it,
I don't know.
DEP?
DOT, you mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Jessica?
It's,
yeah.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
If, I don't know if that's what was proposed when the original grant application was written, by someone other than me. That's possible that was what was put in there. It's possible that's what MassDOT requires, or it's possible that that's just what our engineer favors.
He does. They just crossed the A-bills
Okay.
and they put proposed complex
Right.
filter tubes. But those, why did they draw it that way? Those are
So
hay-bills.
Pat, do you have any comment or questions?
No?
I think it's a great addition to the rail trail and completing it.
I think simple wattles.
I've babbled enough today.
They battled out.
How about wattles? 12-inch
I think
wattles.
that whatever,
Staked with silk.
so because
Potato.
there's the DOT aspect to that where it might just be the requirement.
I don't see where we can, that's not an issue we can
Well,
get
then they
jammed
should
up with.
draw it that way. If the state wants to be like that, let them draw it. But right now, it's drawn as hay-bills.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to be picky about it, let them draw it, let them redraw it. Or just,
No, it's drawn as
You know what I'm saying?
it's drawn as
it's drawn as hay-bills.
They just changed the caption.
They change the caption, that's right.
So,
Nothing to get glitched up on.
I'm gonna make a
Moving
motion
on.
to issue a DA with a -3 determination for the work to be done at the right of way between 80 Main Street and the Main Street, South Street intersection sidewalk, installation under Towns and Wetlands bylaw 2024-168. Do we have a second?
Yeah,
I'll
second
second
that.
that.
Oh, okay.
And that was a -3,
We'll
Jimmy,
give it to Pat, because she's, yes,
Oh,
-3.
well, we're gonna give it to them.
with a 35-foot
We
waiver.
haven't done that, we haven't done that yet, but it will. So we have Pat seconded, we have roll call vote, please.
James Bryan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamalias.
Now we need to vote on,
Mhm.
35.
No, that's unrelated.
okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve, a waiver for work to be completed within the 35-foot vegetated buffer, for the
DW.
project, or for, TWB, 2024-168. Do we have a second?
Second,
James Bryan, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pat Jamalias.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. I'll keep you guys posted if there are any plan changes too as MassDOT reviews this.
Okay.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Jessica. Happy
Yes,
Valentine's
Jessica.
Day.
Oh, thank you. You too. I appreciate all that you guys do.
Yes, smooth shot.
All right,
Chairman?
yes, sir.
I texted the architect, the addition is on slab. So unless that basement's under the old building, which I do not believe it is, it's slab on grade.
So
Okay,
we have a slab that's got water draining out of it.
We won't,
well, there won't be.
There
Bye,
won't
Joan,
be.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Joan,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
thank you.
Joan.
I'll check the plans for you.
Yes, so the way the water's coming out now, that's gonna have the wall replaced. And that's gonna be slab then.
Yeah, now I'm speaking without looking at the plan, but they're gonna have to remove.
Look at the plans and
They
let
have
us
to
know.
remove what's there and then put it in slab on grade.
Okay,
I'll check the plans.
all right,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thank
John.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Jimmy, I can get you contact information with Joan.
I don't wanna stick my foot in the
He's got
water,
it.
but I like to try, see if I can get.
How much time you
understand
got?
it.
It's once a month.
Once a month?
It will
How much-
expose
how
them
long
to
is the
new
ag
people.
commission
It's
gonna
like
meet? Once a month?
socializing an animal.
Once a month,
That's it.
12 meetings a year, once a month,
All right,
not tying you guys up.
Are we heading for
Sherry
Yeah.
will be
adjournment?
so excited to get him out of the house.
We're gonna deal with these, are we gonna deal with these, move these to our next meeting?
No, because they're due. So grant discussion, environmental preservation and animal welfare grant topic, and this is for the Community Foundation.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I'm sorry, where are we now? At 3.2?
3.2. The other ones are quick.
Okay, 3 point what? 2?
3.2.
Yep.
Grant
Okay.
discussion.
It's a grant opportunity. Do we want to vote if we want to apply for it or not?
So we no longer have a grant administrator as of tomorrow.
Oh,
We
no.
don't have anybody in town anymore? Jesus Christ, we can't keep anybody.
We'll get by. We haven't had one forever anyway.
But we have to, as a commission, you know, we have to realize that we can't, Autumn only has so many hours.
Correct.
We can chase
love Autumn,
grants,
But we
but-
only, we love Autumn, but we can only give her so many.
And we are,
We'd like to. give
as
her
I had
more.
asked you, we're pursuing, we are looking again for another grant writer. We've got
Yeah,
the
it's
word out.
it's posted.
It's posted.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did we function still without a grant writer?
right,
It's a shame she only was here for how many?
I don't know.
2 months?
I'm not trying to,
No, no, she was here a little longer than that, I
6
think.
months, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot longer, but
3.
less than a
but
year.
Neither here nor there.
Duly noted.
Correct, sir.
But we, you know, again, we asked in the hopes of receiving a higher budget from the town to be able to accomplish more things without the, you know, having to sacrifice time to write grants. when
Yes.
Other things need to be focused on.
Mhm.
So
It's too bad they didn't have subcontract grant writers.
they do.
They do?
Yeah,
I
you
was
pay
just
for a
gonna,
portion of it. You pay them, it's usually based on the grant amount.
Yeah, percentage.
Yeah,
per diem. But of a setup.
right. So I don't think we need to formally vote, but we just, with everything else. Are you okay with that, Autumn, for now?
Yeah.
Hopefully you're here next year and we
Yeah.
can pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you guys-
She'll be
Well, I
here.
ain't gonna let her go.
Hope
Yeah,
not.
she's part of the fabric
That's
now.
it. The stuff, she's stuck with
I
us.
decided I'm staying, guys.
She's stuck with us.
See?
I've already divulged one of my favorite trout fishing spots to her.
If
Oh,
Pat
no.
stays,
If I
I'm.
have to devote a
Show
few,
and tell it to
if I
see.
might have to devote one more to
Okay,
her,
okay,
I'll
it's
do
advertised. 3.3 is Conservation Commission memberships. During budget talk, we discussed about adding more professional memberships. Besides just MACC,
Okay, okay, yep,
so,
yep.
Massachusetts Society of Municipal Conservation Professionals, I think you found that one, right? Natural River Watershed Association, we are not a member of theirs currently. Then for the farmers of the group, Soil and Water Conservation Society.
Where are they located on a soil and water conservative?
I think it's a national that is broken up into regions,
It used to be by the soil conservation.
right, but they changed the name,
So this is what I always
I
refer to
believe.
as soil conservation.
right, NRCS.
NRCS, that would be, that's what I'm.
That's a different, no, so this is a different one.
Okay,
It
okay.
isn't the one that the farmers are used, the farmers work with.
Natural Resource Commission, no.
But
This
it's
is a
another
different
one.
entity that
Yes,
is a spin-off, I assume, from them.
I can't speak for that, I don't recall offhand.
No worries, no worries.
Again, the
Let's give it
membership
something to
was a
look
couple
into.
$100 bucks.
Is
Gives
it-
more resources for us?
Right, is it a reasonable membership to
Yes.
get
A
on?
couple $100, and it opens up opportunities for education for,
Which we should be not just MACC, there's a ton of different places.
Right.
Garden in the Woods at Framingham, beautiful. Walden Woods presents a lot of stuff. Each town, like Framingham offered us a nice 8-hour class for stabilization, restoration, and waterways, which was great. It was a really good class.
So,
So sign up to as many as we can.
and we looked at all the pricing prior to, formalizing the budget that was submitted, and we based our budget number on these additional memberships.
Okay.
Demonstrate. The more they see we need, the more they're gonna be able to allocate to us.
Yes.
Cool, this was a fun meeting tonight.
All right, so we'll become members of those three.
As long as our budget's approved.
Yeah.
So 4.2, climate pollution reduction workshop flyer.
Flyer, there's an event this, February 16th,
Yeah, that's what it says.
Friday.
Yep.
Tomorrow,
Nope.
Friday at
Tomorrow's 15th.
6:30, if anybody's interested. It's a workshop on climate pollution reduction strategies.
where is this now?
This
On your
is,
computer.
in person in Leominster. It's at the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission. So you can go in person, 464 Abbott Ave in Leominster.
Is there a cost?
No,
Free. Free.
$5 d'oeuvres and cocktails.
Yeah.
I'm all about bacon wrapped scallops and a large cold one.
all right.
Doesn't say anything about that, though.
No scallop wrapped in bacon and a cold one there. But you go across the street.
It was great.
And then 4.3 DEP regulation updates to chapter 91 waterways, resilience, WPA coastal regs, stormwater updates to the Mass Wetlands and 401 regulations, comments by April 30th, 2024.
Yeah, so the comments were due before, at a different date, an earlier date, and they came to the conclusion that that's too soon and they want to give.
Now they're giving towns a longer period of time to deal with it, because
Yep, because there are new definitions. A lot of it is like coastal waterways, but there are some, the stormwater update, stormwater
So,
regs being updated.
and for the next meeting, can you give us a synopsis on regulation updates that pertain directly to us?
Yes, yep.
because coastal don't.
No, but it's stormwater, it's like the,
Disagree, Jimmy?
Kevin said it, coastal doesn't apply to us.
Stormwater does, so.
Still-
stormwater, yep.
It doesn't.
It probably doesn't, it doesn't. You're right. But stormwater is something that, as time goes by,
You see it now. It's.
well, I know, about this thick, I got a couple of them going.
And I think it does, because in our bylaws, it does state that in relation to any wildlife habitat and fish and wildlife, and stormwater would affect, so. Just saying.
And along with the stormwater stuff, I'm gonna work with Jessica to find out. She has the ability when, just in the discussion of grant writing, she said we do have available to us in the state right now, finances for culvert,
Oh, yeah,
funding.
there's a ton of money for that.
so
Yeah.
I'm shooting for 2 of them on West Meadow Road.
Yeah, there's a couple that need to be done. The
Definitely,
one right in front of you.
yep, the big one's good, the big one's working fine, the other 2 are compromised. I got on my little handsies, kneesies and looked inside there.
That's the one we
They're
added.
flowing,
Is that the one
we're
we added
getting
a piece of-
water
Is
through.
that the one we added a piece of plastic to on
Yep.
the right hand
Saw that.
side when Shaw went down when Shaw's truck flipped over?
Sure. Yeah,
Is that why it
they,
happened?
they
Yeah,
fixed
Shaw's
that
truck
one
went-
pretty
Shaw's truck
good.
went
Jimmy
right
did a good job doing the extensions on them. But the other 2, I'm gonna approach her. She was willing to work with me, so I'm gonna speak to Jimmy, cousin, if we can pull off a couple of new culverts on West Meadow, that's cool.
I went down there with my big pit loader. Somebody drove him off the road, just about tipped right over.
Right, it did. Total almost went over.
Couldn't take him off.
Yeah, after the meeting.
That was fun. That was an
Um,
interesting
Is there-
moment on West Meadow.
Sorry, is there anything we need to sign? I need to really go.
No, so, there's nothing to sign, Pat. Items for discussion next meeting, 65 Main Street and, DEP regulation updates, and I'm sure there's other stuff coming in. Next meeting is Wednesday, February 28th, 2024 at 7 PM. Board of Select Chamber, second floor. This meeting will also be held via virtual Zoom. Remote in accordance with COVID-19 safe meeting guidelines.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
At 9:11 PM.
Do you
I
mind
second
second?
that.
Pat second. Roll call vote.
In favor of James DeRoyan.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes?
Pat Jamal, yes.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you,
Best
Pat.
of luck to you this evening.
Thank you.